Hello guys, welcome back to Talk Football. And before beginning, I'd like to say that Talk Football stands against racism. We are deeply saddened to know as to what is going around in this world. And I just want to say that there is no place for racism in football. So that being said, let's proceed into this video. So now, let's talk about Bayern Munich under Hansi-Dieter Flick and how in just 19 games, he has turned the city of Bavaria upside down. So that's the kind of impact you want from a manager when he joins your team. So how did he do that? Let's take a look. So Bayern Munich found themselves at 4th position after just 10 games under the then manager Nico Kovac. With 2 losses and 3 draws in 10 Bundesliga games, Kovac's capabilities were already in question. Not just the results, but their playing style as well. The 5-1 away loss was his final game as Bayern Munich parted ways with the ex-Frankfurt coach. Comes in Hansi-Dieter Flick, just in time for the Del Clasico, and he did a single change of a tactic by playing Joshua Kimmich as a CDM in a 4-1-4-1 formation. Bayern won the match 4-0. And then again, in the very next game against Dusseldorf, Kimmich was deployed as a CDM covering the back four of Pavard, Martinez, Alaba and the youngster Alphonso Davies. They again won it 4-0. But then the series of losses followed, or should I say a learning curve for Hansi Flick. He had to test his team against one of the best high-pressing teams in Leverkusen managed by Peter Bosz. Although the setup was great, but Leverkusen's speedy counters won the match 2-1. Flick had passed his first test. Next up was a sterner test in form of Marco Rose's impressive Borussia Mönchengladbach. This game saw the renaissance of Thiago Alcantara. Bayern deployed a 4-2-3-1 formation which they eventually ended up using. Kimmich at the right back and Boateng, Alaba and Davies as a left back. Thiago normally acted as a sole holding midfielder with Goretzka and Tolisso taking turns to drop deep alongside him. Bayern did well trying to draw Gladbach's attention to one side, especially the right, and Kimmich has always been a terrific ball carrier, and then switching the play to opposition flank through diagonal passes from Boateng, Kimmich and either Thiago. A perfect solution to Gladbach's effective high press, and this set the blueprint of what would become Flick's philosophy. But a superb tweak from Rose made Gladbach stay narrow and protect the middle and eventually winning the game 2-1. Flick had learned it all. And now under 19 games, Flick lost just 2 and drew 1. And Bayern stay undefeated since the night at Borussia Park, a streak of 15 games unbeaten run. With 3.1 goals per game, Flick's side managed to score 50 goals in just 16 games, a feat that has never been matched in league's 57 years history. So how did Hansi Flick do that? Let's take a look tactically. Upon his arrival, Bayern saw a sharp rise in the points per game, goals per game, and they started to concede lesser goals per game. He stuck with the basic formation between 4-2-3-1, 4-1-4-1 and 4-3-3, bringing back the positional play. Though the German holds the distinction of serving as Joachim Löw's assistant during the Germany's 2014 World Cup win, it is actually his stint at Bayern as a midfielder from 1985 to 1990 that has proved key to his seamless transition to the head coach. Apart from giving minutes to youngsters, he set up an all-round dominance, and Bayern Munich's victories were echoed in all parts of the world, especially when they demolished Chelsea 3-0 at the Stamford Bridge. Flick also helped restoring old-timers to greatness. Müller has played in every competitive match and has given 18 assists, that is highest in the top 5 league this season. The resurgence brought by Flick has been the product of 3 interrelated factors. Number 1, smoother build-up play. Number 2, wing-oriented attacks. And number 3, a renewed emphasis on effective counter-pressing. Bayern started to build up from the back more often. Kimmich slotted in at the CDM role, replacing Martinez, and Pavard was chosen over the Loni Odriozola at the right back position. Bayern started to have control of the game, with increased possession and an increase in number of passes in a position half before losing possession. Neuer always looked up to play short passes to his centre-backs, and Bayern looked to keep numerical superiority by either Kimmich or Thiago dropping deep. The attacking playmaker then falls back, pulling the marker along, and this makes space in for Lewandowski and the wingers. Hansi Flick build-up play was helped by wing-oriented attacks, maintaining the verticality, moving the ball up the field with speed. Centre-backs when on the ball looked up to pass to the dropping Kimmich or the number 10, usually Coutinho, and now by Müller or Goretzka. If they had their markers pulled, Lewandowski would drop in and receive the ball in space and look to exploit further. His expected goal involvement, expected assist, and expected build-up play per 90 have all risen. Due to injuries to Sula and Boateng, Alphonso Davies was given the chance as a left back. The 19-year-old Canadian has excelled, particularly in offensive phase. So this is how they attack. The wingers stuck in middle, creating numerical advantage and overload the middle, keeping possession of the ball. The fullback hence find huge spaces to run into on the flanks. The pace of Davies is feared by all and his tracking back to defend is phenomenal. Due to heavy rotation in middle, the midfielders provide dangerous passing options to the forwards. Or sometimes when Lewandowski drops a little, the defender gets dragged. And this creates a perfect cross ball for the wingers to run into behind the defense and square it for a simple tap-in goal. The fullback and the wingers have developed a connection and work in tandem, supplying crosses from various positions. Talking about defending, Hansi Flick's side has pressed a little too much on the press meter. They now suffocate the opposition with a pass per disposal average of just 6.5. This means that the opposition hardly manages 7 passes before losing possession. The midfielders mark their respective players and the pace of Alaba and Davies allow them to push the backline higher. While defending deep, they maintain numbers both centrally and also on the flanks and take advantage of the sloppy passes to win the ball back. And now let's take a very brief insight into the duo of Kimmich and Thiago. Widely different in personal traits and playing style, they complement each other. It's like a match made in heaven, and Flick was very quick to realize this in the loss against Gladbach. The double pivot of Kimmich and Thiago is magical, and the implementation of a cam in front of them makes the opposition sweat. They just can't contain them. The midfield pairing of Thiago and Kimmich is unrivaled in terms of ball control and press resistance, and Flick has built his team almost entirely along these two diminutive players. They act as the first two lines of build-up, creating back threes and a diamond structure, overloading the middle and attracting press. This creates huge spaces on wings and Bayern have good runners. Hence the game is already lost in the midfield. So to change a team's outlook is one good achievement. But to do that in such a short period of time, that's even greater achievement. But Flick's man management ability should never be undersold because he has received the backing of the whole club. It's hard to find a team that can compete and challenge Bayern at the moment. But if you know the answer, go down into the comment box and let me know your views that which team can give that competition to Bayern Munich. And if you like this video and you haven't subscribed until now, do hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so that you never miss a video from Talk Football. I'll be back soon with another video. Until then, peace out. Hello guys, welcome back to Talk Football. And before beginning this video, I'd like to say, Hey Muskan, बर्तन इतना क्यों बज रहा है?